Imagine a small coastal strip, dwarfed by its neighbors, yet bold enough to cast the deciding vote for independence and then race to seal the new nation's foundation. On December 7, 1787, in a Dover tavern, 30 delegates unanimously ratified the U.S. Constitution. No debate, no dissent. Delaware became the first state, the spark that ignited the Union under a stronger framework. But this wasn't mere haste. As the smallest state, Delaware saw peril in the weak Articles of Confederation. Larger powers could swallow it whole. By leading the charge, it secured equal Senate representation, protecting the little guy in a giant's game. From Caesar Rodney's thunderous midnight ride to the corporate haven it became, Delaware's story is one of strategic defiance, quiet power, and enduring influence. Why does this tiny state punch so far above its weight? The Delaware River Valley drew people long before borders existed. Lenape and Nanticoke tribes thrived here, fishing the bays, farming the fertile lowlands, trading along ancient paths. European eyes first landed in 1609 when Henry Hudson, sailing for the Dutch, charted the river. Dutch traders followed, but settlement stuck in 1631 with a short-lived post at Zwanendale, wiped out by local conflict. Then came the Swedes in 1638. Peter Minuit planted Fort Christina near present-day Wilmington, naming it for Queen Christina. New Sweden grew modestly, log cabins, farms, Lutheran churches. They introduced log construction to America, a technique that spread westward. Dutch forces under Peter Stuyvesant seized it in 1655. English ships took over in 1664. By 1682, the Duke of York handed the 3 lower counties to William Penn as part of Pennsylvania. Penn's Quaker ideals promised tolerance, but the counties chafed under Philadelphia's distant rule. Geography divided them, northern areas tied to commerce, southern to agriculture. In 1704, they gained their own assembly, though still under Pennsylvania's governor. This semi-autonomy bred a fierce independence. Small farms dominated, with tobacco, grain, and timber. Enslaved Africans arrived early, laboring on plantations, though numbers stayed lower than farther south. Wilmington emerged as a shipbuilding hub, drawing merchants and craftsmen. Revolution tested that independence. Delaware's delegates split on breaking with Britain. Then came July 1, 1776. In Philadelphia, Caesar Rodney, sick, exhausted, received word the vote for independence deadlocked. He mounted his horse in Dover, rode 80 miles through pouring rain and lightning, boots caked in mud, arriving just in time to cast the tie-breaking vote. His dramatic dash ensured Delaware's voice for liberty. The state suffered raids, occupation threats, but contributed troops and supplies. John Dickinson, penman of the Revolution, pennied key documents, yet hesitated on full separation. Post-war, the Articles of Confederation faltered. Weak central government left small states vulnerable to bigger neighbors' ambitions. Delaware's leaders, including Gunning Bedford Jr., at the Constitutional Convention, pushed hard for equality. Bedford warned larger states, "Treat us fairly or we walk." The Great Compromise bicameral Congress, equal Senate votes, saved the day. Back home, Federalist sentiment ran strong. Proximity to Philadelphia spread urgency for reform. No major opposition emerged. Delegates convened in Dover December 3, 1787. 5 days later, unanimous ratification 30-0 made Delaware first. It signaled momentum, encouraging others. Pennsylvania followed soon after. The 19th century exposed deep divides. Northern Delaware industrialized, Wilmington's mills, shipyards. Southern counties clung to agriculture, slavery. By 1860, only about 1,800 enslaved people remained, mostly in Sussex County, but the institution lingered. Civil War brought tension. A slave state on the Mason-Dixon line, Delaware stayed Union. Governor William Burton declared, "First to join, last to leave." Yet sympathies split. Northern industrialists backed Lincoln, Southern farmers leaned Confederate. About 12,000 fought for Union, 2,000 for Confederacy. Fort Delaware on Pea Patch Island became a notorious prison for Confederates. Harsh conditions, disease claimed thousands. DuPont powder mills supplied Union armies massively. Wilmington's Quakers aided the Underground Railroad. Harriet Tubman passed through. Slavery ended only with the 13th Amendment in 1865. Delaware didn't ratify until much later. Jim Crow followed. segregation persisted into the 1960s. Racial tensions simmered, but no widespread violence like the Deep South. Post-war Delaware transformed. Eluther Irene DuPont's 1802 gunpowder mill on Brandywine Creek grew into a chemical empire. DuPont expanded into explosives, then nylon, Teflon, modern materials, fueling wars, industry, everyday life. Wilmington became a corporate center. The real ascent came in corporate law. In 1899, Delaware liberalized incorporation rules, low taxes, flexible charters, director-friendly courts. Businesses flocked. Easy setup, privacy, chancery court expertise in business disputes. By mid-20th century, most Fortune 500 companies incorporated here. The Delaware loophole allowed tax strategies, drawing billions in registrations. Small state, massive influence. Revenue from fees funds government without heavy taxes on residents. Today, Delaware thrives on that legacy. Over 1 million companies incorporated, more than people in the state. Finance, credit cards, MBNA origins, chemicals dominate. Wilmington's skyline reflects corporate wealth. Beaches and farms preserve charm. Education and innovation grow. University of Delaware, research hubs. Tourism draws history buffs to Dover, Rehoboth. Challenges linger. Racial equity, coastal vulnerability, balancing corporate perks with public needs. Delaware remains pivotal. Its courts shape business law nationwide, influencing economy, governance. Delaware never sought the spotlight, it seized strategic moments. Rodney's ride, unanimous ratification, corporate haven, each a calculated move by a small player in a big game. As the first state, it proved size doesn't limit influence, vision, timing, and smart positioning do. In today's polarized world, Delaware's story whispers, unity can emerge from compromise, protection for the small can strengthen the whole. From a riverbank settlement to global corporate capital, this modest strip reminds us power often hides in quiet resolve. What bold step will the first